Hi, this is Ravi Rose, founder of Iru. Super pleased to be here with Juan, who is a realtor in Florida. And today he's going to be telling us about his divorce experience. To remind you, this is not an I hate my ex club. We're not here to trash anyone. We're really here to tell the stories of what happened from the moment of marriage. How did he feel during separation? And how does he feel now post-divorce? And the most important thing is to see like the pathway that he took, to see like what he went through, and for you as the audience to resonate with that. And if that's something and his story resonates with you, maybe his pain, his struggles, his experiences, then you can go and connect with him and chat in the comments below under this video. And you can remain anonymous, which is really important. It's not going to be seen or subpoenaed as it would be on any other social media accounts that you'd be posting in. So the whole idea is for you all to connect, so for men to learn from other men's experiences. So Juan, thank you so much for being here with us. Why don't we start off with what was the sort of the outlook of your marriage like just before the separation?
Uh, y- you know, my story is a little unconventional, Ravid. And by the way, thank you for having me. It was a good marriage. It was certainly a joining of two people that enjoyed each other's company. We were very adventurous. We loved new experiences, from cruises to new restaurants to going out to just celebrating holidays. We enjoyed having five dogs together. That was certainly a passion of ours that we shared. Lived in a beautiful home in Coral Springs, and it was nice. It was positive. However, it certainly came to it came to a you want to call it a halt, a pause, a slow rumble, whatever words you want to use. It paused, and for most purposes, for most reasons, I would say that it fell on me, the blame for the marriage not working. I had had a very successful 35-year career in hotels as a hospitality executive, leading sales teams for upscale convention hotels all over the U.S. And I resigned early, and several years later, just had a challenge with finding comparable work. And it changed me, because the value I placed in me and my life was always being a major provider and enjoying success, financially, career-wise, leading people, motivating people, growing people, developing people, so on and so forth. So that was it was a tough period. And of course, the changes in me probably weren't the best for my spouse. And so she grew out of the relationship. Um, and I recall, there wasn't any long dramatic ending. Again, the end of our divorce, or the end of our marriage, was a little bit unconventional, perhaps a little bit unique, a little different than what other people may experience. I recall about 30 days prior to the end of our marriage, her walking through the living room, shouting out at the top of her lungs, "You have no appreciation for how loyal I am. You have no idea how loyal I've been." And she went to bed. And I remember staying up for another couple of hours, having a cocktail and thinking long and hard about that. And I said to myself, "Well, this is it. It's done. It's done." And sure enough, 30 days later, we had a 30-minute argument, and that was that. And I moved out literally into an apartment 2 weeks later. That's how quickly it ended.
If you hadn't lost that work in the hotel industry, do you think that you would have still stayed married because you would have maybe shown up differently, you would have been different, maybe you would have paid attention? Um, Or is it possible that, like, now in retrospect, the fact that you were so busy and building your career and you were so, I guess, provider oriented, your focus was mostly on work and less focusing on the home situation?
Work had always been my priority, but it was also my worth. And I do believe I changed when I finished that first career and had not yet jumped into my second career. I'm now fully vested into my second career. I'm a change artist. I'm living in my 19th home, my 14th city, and my ninth state since graduating college. Change is not anything that scares me. It's something that I embrace very well. However, some changes are better than others, and during the tail end of our marriage, that interim period where I just could not find work worth much. It affected me, and those changes in me are likely what drew her to look elsewhere. I think she had already met somebody at the tail end of our divorce. Soon after our divorce, they were engaged, and soon after that, married. It happened pretty quick. So I think she had already turned away. I don't blame her at all. I have no ill will towards her. I can understand what she must have gone through, but that's neither here nor there. It won't bring back anything. And so I've elected to move on, embrace change again. I've embraced my second career, real estate. I sought out a ton of education, learning, reading, webinars, etc. And in my first 6 months, I closed over $4 million worth of real estate transactions. And a lot of people say that's a big deal. I just felt it's what I needed to do. So it's been good to me, and again, I'm on to bigger and better.
Do you think that this second career as a realtor is more fitting for you? Because I really believe that everything in life happens to us for a reason. So here you had this great career, 35 years and all of that. Is it possible that you had changed along the way, maybe you evolved, and that career really now in retrospect wasn't as fitting for you as your career now as a realtor?
Funny question, Ravit. In all actuality, it brought me back to who I am. If most people could really grasp what hospitality is, the essence of hospitality is you're in a business of serving people. You have to have hospitality in your blood to be successful in the hospitality industry because you're creating experiences for people, whether it's large conventions, small meetings, intimate gatherings, reunions, weddings, or just a vacation to recapture family time. You're in the hospitality business for a reason, and people who love the business and love working in the hospitality industry have to have hospitality in your blood. So I loved hospitality every minute that I spent in it, and I spent a lot of minutes in the hospitality industry. I worked my tail off, and I didn't mind work. Work wasn't work. And I know that's an expression people use. In my case, it was very, very true. I loved the business. Ironically, I see real estate very, very close as a close parallel to the hospitality industry. Whereas in the hospitality industry, you work hard to create experiences for people. In real estate, you're helping people buy homes to live experiences. You're helping people buy places where they're going to make memories. And what better cause? What better cause? Both are sales roles. Both involve sales. And one of my mantras has always been in training my people, and of course, in training myself to be a professional in real estate, is if you find yourself selling, you're doing it wrong. meaning you're not there to sell anybody an experience, a home, or anything like that. Rather, everybody has an objective, a priority, a wish, a dream, a need, a want, a problem, a challenge. And if you can just find that it's a successful sales professional, if you can find what that is, then you're in a better position to help them get to that goal, get to that objective, or solve that problem. So real estate's been good to me, just as hospitality was very good to me, um, because of who I am and how passionate I am about helping people and serving people and taking good care of people. So I am back to where I was, and I
Before the hospitality career or at the end of the hospitality career?
when I was in the hospitality industry, I feel like I'm back again.
Okay.
I like my role. I like who I am, and I had to go through that. There's the old adage, you can't love someone else until you love yourself. That's very true. If you don't like who you are, you're going to have a heck of a problem liking someone else or loving someone else. So I like how I have come full circle. It's yet another change I've gone through in my life, like going to a new city, a new location, a new hotel, learning the competition, learning the team, learning the challenges of that hotel, learning the city, the area, the region, your competition, etc. Real estate has been just as healthy for me. There's a lot to learn, a lot to understand, and as you get to know it, and you get to help successfully help people buy or sell or invest in property, then you grow. So I feel like, yeah, it's full circle. I've come back again to who Juan is, and
And
sort of
how
enjoying.
long did it take you to come back full circle from the time that you separated to the time you started to feel like yourself again and said like I love myself, I'm happy with who I am? How long did that take you?
Great question. At the end of a full year, I can say it was a year anniversary where all of a sudden I said, I'm just in a great place. I'm just in a better place. And I say, everybody has to go through that. It can be really
Yeah,
challenging and
it is.
painful for some, very lonely existence, one of regret, one of pain, or in my case, it was just one of just complete transformation and immersion. Just learning and learning and soaking up things like a sponge,
Learning
asking
about what? Learning about what specifically?
about real estate for buyers and real estate for
No,
investors
but
and
more
real
on
estate for
yourself. Like,
sellers.
what did you learn yourself as an individual to come back full circle?
On myself, it was more about understanding that, so you value what contributions you make. That's how you value yourself, is what contributions you make. When I have a family that, I celebrate with a housewarming gift, and they're crying because they're so happy they've got a home for themselves, the two parents, two kids, and it's their first property they've ever bought, and they dreamed of owning a home for forever. That's an absolutely spectacular feeling. It's a sense of awesomeness, a sense of, wow, I can really do some good things for people. Helping people buy condos and helping people buy single family homes and townhomes, and helping them realize their dreams. It's heartwarming. It really feels valuable. It really feels, it makes you feel complete and whole. And so,
So your sense of
I did,
self-worth is dependent on how you make other people feel.
it's been
So
my entire life, Ravi, my entire life.
you're of service to others.
Absolutely. I mean, when I was a leader in the hotel business, you move every 2, 3 years. It's a new assignment, for lack of better phraseology. You take a hotel, you turn it around, you turn the team around, and boom, all of a sudden you're ripe for another challenge, another opportunity. I would go in after one, two, or three of my predecessors failed to turn a property around. I would successfully take the team, really coach and lead the team to transform, to be better, to make greater contributions. And then, that in turn helped turn the financials of the property around. And that's what the company is looking at you to do, is to help transform and turn these properties around and make them successful financially. So developing people has always been a passion of mine. When you have young salespeople and you hire, out of college, or you hire from another competitor hotel or whatever, and you take the time to develop them and they become stronger, they can become better at their craft, they become better at communication, better at their posture and presenting themselves and making presentations to Fortune 500 company executives, et cetera, et cetera. And they're winning and they're winning and they're winning month after month after month, achieving their goal. You're helping building you're helping to build a person, you're helping to build a professional, and you're helping develop this unique individual into something beautiful. I've always enjoyed that. I've always. On the other hand, taking care of customers. When you find customers and they've got it's an annual meeting. They had a horrible year in sales and they've got to transform the entire sales team. And you find out what the real challenges that company's been facing, the team has been facing. So you help your hotel deliver and execute an event that helps them achieve the goals of that event. It's not just to hold a 3-day conference. It's to
So
change people's minds, change people's mindsets.
So that's what made you so good at really changing your mindset and being able to turn everything around in a year from, the moment that you separated to the time that you rebuilt yourself, because you were always in this environment of accepting change. And change was just part of the program. It was part of who you were. You got used to sort of the roller coaster of I'm comfortable, I'm not, I am, I'm not, I am, I'm not. And then, just to sort of recap, you thrive in an environment of serving others. So as long as you are still helping others, you feel this sense of contentment, which means that your sense of value is the more I help people, the more I feel good about myself, versus other individuals who may not be in a space of serving others and maybe focus more on themselves. So this is actually very interesting because there's always two kinds of people. You have those who serve others and those who are now in a position of focusing more within and trying to find their way. So this could be something interesting as well. If someone is lost and doesn't know what to do and feels like, what is my worth? What is my sense of contribution to this world, to this planet, to my state, to my county, to wherever I am? Maybe it's something like what Juan said, which could be something of interest where, you give more than you receive. And if you give more out of your heart and out of like enjoying the beauty of the entire process, then it makes you feel comfortable, assured, secure, safe, whatever it would be for you. Does that make sense?
It does. It does, Ravit. I've always been a self-healer, very introspective. I look closely at what I do. I remember the practice whenever I commuted to and from work, and in all the cities that I've lived in, I've always commuted, anywhere from 45 minute to an hour long drive, right? And in the morning time, it was all I thought about was if I didn't listen to NPR, then I was thinking about what the day was going to bring. On the way home, I would analyze what happened that day. I remember deep thought all in that 45 minute to an hour long drive home. What did I do well? What can I do better? Who did I pay attention to and who did I make feel great? Who do I need to focus on tomorrow? And so, myself, I had to always think about when I went to a new city, new environment, new hotel, I had to literally think, what in the world is wrong here that someone else or two other predecessors before me, or three other predecessors before me couldn't fix? What's wrong here? And I had to analyze and take things apart. And I had to study the team. I remember that when I went to a new location, I would always take the role of being quiet and just being an observer for the first 30 days, looking at people, watching the way the team worked, and thinking of ways to help improve that team. Uh, not to put me and my thumb on it, but rather how to help the team improve itself. So
So it's
always,
very people-oriented approach
always, and yeah, always analyzing, always thinking, both for
and
myself
evolving.
and evolving, and growing, changing, for both myself and for others that I can affect in positive ways.
I think that's your golden formula. You see, one of the, I think that you had this role at this hospitality industry because it made you a better version of yourself. It gave you all the skills and all the strategies that you needed as an individual to keep moving forward. Perhaps if you hadn't been in that industry and you weren't so focused on and hyper focused on others and reflection and growth and all of that, maybe your divorce would have affected you differently. So that was actually a blessing in disguise in the way that I see it. And now you get to take everything that you've learned, you rebuilt yourself as a realtor, continuing this sort of this mission in life to keep giving. So I love that. Now I want to fast forward to post-divorce. You're happy, divorced, you're doing your own thing, and all of that. What are some lessons that you'd like to share with other men? What are some things that maybe in retrospect you would have liked to do differently? What are some things that you're very happy that you did because you know that it helped you achieve success in whatever way was you were looking for?
That's a great question. The, it's funny because you never see certain things until you step outside of them as an observer, right? It's some people, I would challenge some people to literally try to step out of yourself and look at yourself and the role that you're in and what you're doing and how you behave and how you're living. It's hard to do, but if you concentrate, it's a very real it's a very real thing. It is. Um, when I was married, I think I was absorbed in the marriage itself, so much so that a lot of other things fell by the wayside. And specifically, my family, my siblings, and my sons, who are grown. I would say again, I'm not finding fault in my ex-wife, but she was also a divisive person. She was a little bit of a, hey, it's us, and unless it's my way, it's the highway on social media or whatever. So once divorced, my brother made the statement. We have a sibling call every Sunday, and now Monday, but every Sunday at 8 o'clock at night. And me and my four siblings get together, my brother and my three sisters, and we catch up. We catch up for an hour, and it's storytelling. It's what we're going through. It's whatever the topic brings.
Love it.
And my brother said, "Hey, bro, in a way, we're all kind of glad you're divorced. It's nice to have our brother back." And that was a very, very strong statement, and kind of made me recognize that what you gotta make sure that whatever relationship you're in has room for your family, has room for your sons and your children, because if it doesn't, then it may not be the right place, may not be the right place for you.
And I'm really, really happy you mentioned that because in quite a few of these interviews that we've done, we see that there's this pattern that one, mostly the women, because I'm doing mostly interviews with men. A lot of these women were causing this conflict between the man, the husband, and his family.
Mhm.
So it's interesting how this is like a common pattern that I'm seeing, and I'm happy to see that you reignited your relationship with your family, and you're at the point where you're realizing a lot more. So question is, did you notice at the time that you were married that maybe this divisiveness was being caused by her, or were you not really paying attention to it because it just felt like, okay, it is what it is?
I didn't label it uh, as this individual being divisive. It just wasn't a label. The marriage was fulfilling. The events and the activities within that marriage were full of life, and there was the marriage. I guess I just didn't see beyond that. But it's an observation that I made once it ended. And I was like, wow, let's make sure that never, ever, ever, ever happens again.
Love it. Okay, so two lessons so far. Step out of yourself, pay more attention. Second lesson was something that you learned was this issue with the family and that you were paying attention to it. Any other lessons that you learned?
Pay attention to yourself. You can contribute and give so much to others as long as you're taking care of yourself, from your
Yeah.
health, your mental wellness, yeah, growing yourself, affecting change in the best way possible. And so that's my 2 cents, my 2 cents to anybody going through a divorce and wrestling with themselves in post divorce. Just take a big old fat time out and celebrate yourself. Go to a restaurant, sit at the bar, and order the very best steak and a glass of wine. Read a good book, watch a good movie, take a good walk. Buy yourself a great pair of shorts and a t-shirt. Just be good to yourself, and I think you'll find that that's very, very therapeutic. Yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly the word I was going to use also. So one of the greatest concerns that men have after their separation or their divorce, more specifically, is their self-identity. Who am I? I was this man, I was this protector, I was the giver, I was doing this, I was doing that, and all of a sudden this divorce comes into play, and they start to question themselves. Who am I? What do I do? I don't have these people to take care of anymore, or something in their career significantly changed. And so women are very good at this. Women can rediscover themselves easily. They have the support system. They're very open-minded. They'll meditate, they'll read books, they'll do journaling, they'll do this and that, they'll talk to their friends, and they have an easier time to sort of move forward and go on with their lives. For men, I find it a little bit harder, and I love what you said that you're actually putting emphasis into this, because sometimes when you say to a man like love yourself, it feels weird, right? It's like not very masculine. But it's actually the smartest thing that you could do. And here's like a perfect prime example. You have to learn to appreciate yourself and rediscover who you are, what you want to do in life, and what is your purpose. So I always look at divorce as like it's not the end of the world. It feels like it when you're getting divorced, but I'm a strong believer that it's like we don't know how to marry, and we certainly don't know how to divorce either. That divorce is there to wake you up and say, hey, it's not working, it's not working, it's not working, it's not working. But you're living in this like dreamland, or like you did, blinders. You're not paying attention to the details, and life keeps giving you signs and more signs and more signs and more signs. But you're not really looking at it because you're looking at something else, or you're somewhere else in your thought process, or you're not awakened. The divorce forces you to wake up, evolve, transform, grow, and be a better version of yourself. And it's very likely that you would never become this version of yourself if it wasn't for that divorce. That divorce was that trigger that forced you to become something different. So I always say that divorce is kind of like a good version of midlife crisis. In the moment, we don't know that it's so good. We feel like it's horrible. We feel the negativity, the spiraling negative emotions, and all of that. And then as we give it time and as we progress through life, being this solo dad, being, this rediscovering you phase, you start to find more of yourself and sometimes an even happier version of yourself. Would you agree with that or disagree? You can
No, I
disagree.
would agree. I would agree. But it has to be a conscientious decision that you make.
Yeah.
Nobody's going to walk up to you and say, you know what, let's go and change you. Let's
Yeah.
go and improve you. Let's go and love you.
Yeah.
Uh, I think that not everybody is a self-healer. Not everybody is as introspective as some people are. So you have to train yourself.
Yeah.
You have to go through that. Get a help book. Get a help self-help book on post divorce.
Yeah.
uh, Find some books on how to heal yourself, and if nothing else, talk to people. You don't have to talk to another gal or another guy. Take your pick. Find friends, find family, sit down
You can
and
go to
just,
a divorce coach who's neutral.
yeah, just say help, help.
Yep.
Where do I start?
Yeah.
What do I do? But as long as you're taking those steps, then you'll find that in and of itself is healing. That in and of itself is the catalyst for more change and more change and more change and more change. And it's this snowball effect where all of a sudden you're sitting there saying to yourself, you know what? I really like how I've developed myself, do this, or think this way, or think that way. I really like the new me. I think I'll continue to take me to a new level. Um, and you'll find yourself thinking much better thoughts, much healthier thoughts. Um, and I find myself again. I have no ill will to my ex-wife. I understand exactly why she left. Don't blame her, and certainly don't hate her for that. It wasn't right, and I wouldn't have stayed for me. You know what I mean? So it's not a blame game. It's not she's a bad person at all. I wish her well. I wish her very well in her new relationship, her new life, and I'm happy for her. I'm very happy for her. We don't talk, but I'm very happy for her. I couldn't have
That's
any
good.
other
It's good
thought.
not to have that bad blood. It's good for you as an individual. And it's good energetically to not have that icky feeling.
Yeah, I
It
think it's
helps you
cancer.
progress.
I think it's like a cancer inside. If you have a
Yeah.
it's caustic, it just breeds this ugliness inside people, and you find yourself just festering on something to hate,
Correct.
and that holds you up from becoming a better person. So I won't say it's as easy as forget about it. You have to make a conscientious effort to think about something else, to put your mind on something else other than any kind of negativity. But you'll find it helps. It heals, it mends,
Love
and
it.
it makes you feel a heck of a lot better at the end of the day.
Love it. You have given such great inspiration and words of wisdom. I love everything that you said. Thank you for being open, raw, and authentic with us. This is very, very helpful. Really, it's a world of discovery. And as human beings, we are always evolving and transforming if we're paying attention to it. If we're not paying attention, then it kind of knocks on the door one day and says, "Hey, wake up." And if you don't do it, I'm going to force you to do it. And this is what happens. The blissfulness, the life that you create, your post-divorce life, like life 2.0 is always better version than the previous life that you had because you're older, you're more mature, you have more self-respect because you're paying attention, and you have more life experiences. So thank you so much for sharing all that with us. Thank you all for watching. Again, as I mentioned at the beginning of the video, if this resonates with you, please feel free to write comments below. Juan will be there to also moderate some of the conversation. So if you want to chat about where you're at or what's going on, you can reach out to him directly, or you can also comment below. And if you have any real estate questions, of course, in Florida, Juan is there to help you. Thank you so much for being here with us. Until the next time we speak, I wish you a day that matters. Take care, everyone.
Thank you, Ravi.